Welcome to the Full Court Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Sheldon. And first topic we're going to talk about is the Minnesota Timberwolves survived for another day. They forced the game five against the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, the Timberwolves were down 3-0. It looked like they were about to go get swept. I remember I picked the Timberwolves to win in six. I did pick Timberwolves because I thought the size of the Timberwolves would be an advantage. And I really didn't trust, I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't trust the Mavericks defense. And from watching these first four games, the Mavericks defense is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. The Mavericks defense is pretty good. They they are able to contain Carl Anthony Towns in these first four games. He's playing really bad. Like they're making them take tough shots. And plus, they really don't have like the offensive scoring powers, I would say, like the offensive scoring punches, multiple scoring punches, like the Mavs got. You do got Luca, you do got Kyrie, PJ Washington here and there, Derrick Jones Jr. here and there. Outside of that, that's it. But when it comes to Timberwolves, they really just got Anthony Edwards out there. He's the only one that, even though he was playing bad, like the first couple of games of this series, he is really the only one that is giving them consistent scoring. Like he's averaging 23, 8, and 8. That is pretty good. The field goal percentage could be better at 40%. 3-point percentage is okay. But Karl Anthony Towns, he's supposed to be your second best player, and he's only giving you 17 points. Bro, for the Timberwolves, he was supposed to give you at least 23, 25 points per game. And he hasn't. He's just been bad, and he's been terrible from three. Remember, he was saying how, oh, I'm the best big man shooter ever. Well, you're not looking like that right now, buddy. Like, you're just playing bad, bro. And I even said it last week. I said the Mavericks, two players, Luke and Kyrie, are just playing better than the two stars on Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. They just are. And Cat got to get it together. He has to get it together for this game five for them to take it back to Dallas and force a game six. I mean, it's win or go home no matter what. Like, you got no choice. You got no choice anyway. I mean, Rudy Gobert, he's been, I think he's been okay. Could he be better? Yeah, he could be definitely better. I think last game in game four, I think that was probably one of his best defensive games in this series. He was blocking shots, alternate shots. He was doing all that. He could have grabbed more rebounds. He only gave you like 8, I think. He could have gave you more boards, but I think that was his best game. Jaden McDaniels, he's been playing good. He's giving you some consistent scoring. Probably gonna need a little bit more. Nas Reed has been good in this series too. He's averaging 14 points. I ain't gonna lie, without Nas Reed, man, some of these games probably wouldn't be close, man. He has had some big games, and he has been good. Mike Conley has been good too. So I mean, the games are close. Like the game, all four of these first four games have been close. It's just the Mavericks just have more. They have the two better shot makers in the clutch. That's really all it comes down to is the clutch time, which is 5 minutes or less. And the Timberwolves have led like every game, and all four of these games, the Timberwolves have led in all four of them in like 5 minutes or less. They have led in all four of them. They just haven't gotten good production from Cat. And it's not all Cat's fault. Don't trust me. It's not all Cat's fault. I know how we do this when we gotta blame somebody and say it's your fault. It's not just him. It's basically that whole team. Anthony Edwards wasn't playing good in the beginning of the series. If he plays like how he was doing early in the Timberwolves series and how he definitely was playing against the Suns, you could say they could probably would have been up 3-0 or at least be leading in the series by now. Rudy Gobert could be playing way better on defensive end. Sometimes a defensive liability. Like, I mean, it's not just Cat. It's not just Cat. But you gotta give the Timberwolves credit for fighting that game out, man. Anthony Edwards, He hit some clutch shots down the stretch. Karl-Anthony Towns, he didn't attempt a three until the third quarter. Cat, you're basically like 6 foot. And PJ Washington, no offense to him, he's not bigger than you, bro. Like, if you really wanted to, I think you could really back him down. You just choose not to. And they played better when Cat took like less threes the whole game, because usually he takes around probably like 8 threes. He only took he took 5. He was 4 for 5 from 3, and he hit 2 big threes in the fourth quarter, and that definitely saved him. Like Anthony Edwards, I think he probably had his best game of this series. He had 29 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Like he played good. He played okay for him, but you can say that if Kyrie Irving would have came to play, they probably would have swept him. Kyrie Irving, he only went 6 for 18 for 16 points. Kyrie kind of went in that game, at least. He kind of went back to how he was. He started out slow, tried to turn it up late, and this time it just didn't happen. Luka played like a Luka game. He had 28 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists, 11 for 25 from the field. I mean, if we're being honest, that's really not good, but he had to because no one else was giving him production. And I mean, PJ Washington, you got to be a little bit better, bro. You're only giving in this series, you're only giving 12 points. You was not like against the OKC. You was playing way better than that. You got to start hitting your shots, bro. Luka's going to find you in the corner for 3, and you got to start hitting your shots. He just has it. He went 2 for 9 for 3 in this game. So, and then Derek Lively didn't play, and we know Derek Lively, you can argue, has probably been the third best player this series. Derek Lively brings the intensity on the rebounds with the lobs. He does all that, and he's not a bad passer for a big man. So he's been pretty good. So you can argue he's probably their third best player. Gaffer is bringing it too. He had 12 and 8 this game. I thought he played good. It just wasn't enough, man. Like, and then Luka, he missed that free throw down the stretch. That changes everything because it's down by 2. You don't know if they come back down and miss a free throw, miss both, hit both, but it's only a 4-point game. And that changed everything. So, I think Kyrie Irving is going to come out way better this game. I think we're going to get the Kyrie Irving game. I think that was in game 2. No, it was in game 1. I think that was in game 1 when he was so aggressive in the first half. I think that's what he's going to do. I think I wouldn't be shocked if Kyrie Irving has a 20-point first half. I really wouldn't be shocked. He has to just be more aggressive. You are the second best player, bro. Like you just are. And Luka, he's gonna do him, bro. Luka's gonna give you damn near 30 points per game, another double-double, probably another triple-double. He's gonna do all that. But if you don't drop at least 20 points per game, the Mavericks might lose. And these are all close games because these are two of the best defensive teams in the playoffs. So these games have been low scoring. I've seen it was 105, 100, 103, like 102. Like it's low scoring games. So it's not gonna be no 133 to 1. No, I'm not expecting those type of games. The only game that was close was not close, but was the Mavericks. It was 116. That was in game 4. That was in game 3. But besides that, these are low 100 type games. So these two teams are going at it, but it's just really going to depend on clutch time. Because I think no one's going to blow each other out. Like the Timberwolves have had bigger leads. Like the game, I think it was game 2. They was up by 20. They let the lead go away. That was the game they should have won. This series should be tied 2-2 if we're being honest. But they let game 2 slip away. And they were up by like 12 in game 4, like kind of in the second quarter. You know, they let that lead go away. So no one's gonna like just go off. No one's gonna be up by 20 points. I just don't believe that. These are two really good teams, and It's just gonna really depend on clutch time, getting the rebounds, and getting them good defensive stops. And the Timberwolves just made the best stops. They made them good stops in the fourth quarter against the Mavericks. And another thing, Karl-Anthony Towns got to stop fouling. I'm sorry, like he does a lot of like dumb fouls, and it's just like, bruh, if you would just stop fouling, life would probably be way easier because then you won't have to put Rudy Gobert in these situations where he doesn't have to be. Like, you do a lot of just reaching in, bro. Like, you don't have to do all that. Like, because in game 4, I'm looking and I was like, bruh, both of the all Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards, and Towns, they had 3 fouls each. So they had to sit late in the second quarter. And then going into the fourth, they all have like, I think Gobert and Towns had 5 fouls each. And I was like, bruh, like, come on. Like, you guys got to stop fouling. Then you keep fouling, you're going to put them to the line. Then they hit their free throws. But, I mean, they closed this game out. I'm happy for Timberwolves. I just wanted another game of basketball. I was like, bro, we about to get 2 sweeps. That means we ain't gonna have no basketball for a week, basically. So good for the Timberwolves. I actually have the Timberwolves winning tonight. I think they will force a game 6. Now, will they win back at Dallas? Remains to be seen if they do get there. But I do think tonight the Timberwolves will win this game. If I had to predict the score, I'm going to say 1-0, probably 108, 106, something around there. I think Anthony Edwards comes to play, and I think we're going to get another good Karl-Anthony Towns game from them. So we just got to have to wait and see for that. And I got Timberwolves winning. All right, so next thing is the Celtics complete the sweep. I'm not really shocked that they completed the sweep. Once Tyrese Halliburton went out, I was like, okay. I thought they would probably not like beat the Pacers by 20, but kind of beat them convincingly. Like, go up, beat them like how they did in game 2. Was up basically majority of the game. No, these games were close. These games in Indiana were very close. Like, I can't lie. I was actually shocked that these games were this close. Like, TJ McConnell, he's amazing. I'm not gonna lie. TJ McConnell's amazing. He gave you 15, 5, and 4. Andrew Nembhard is good. I know I was kind of on him about his defense against Jalen Brunson in the Knicks series. Hey, I'm sorry, bro. You balled this series. He averaged 21 and 8 assists. That is pretty good when Tyrese went out. Like, he played pretty good. Like, the Celtics only won by 3 these 2 games in Indiana. Give the Pacers credit. They fought. Usually teams like that, they'd be like, you know what, man? Best player out. Yeah, we are going back home, but, man, this is over with. No, they did believe that they could have won that series or win those games in Indiana because, remember, if they don't turn the ball over late in game 1, they probably do win that game. I'm not going to lie. They probably do win that game. Game 2, yeah, the Celtics beat us up. We'll take that. But in these games, they fought, man. They fought. Miles Turner played good in game 3. Pascal Siakam played good. Andrew Nembhard, obviously, he played really good. But the Celtics, I think the Celtics just came out better. Like, they were better in the clutch. And this is what everybody was talking about with the Celtics. We want to see what the Celtics do against adversity in clutch time situations. They haven't been tested yet. Well, look, they got tested, and this is what everybody wanted. They got tested. But obviously people aren't happy with it still, and I'll talk about that after this. But give Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum credit. They fought. They were the 2 best players this series. Jason Tatum averaged 30, 10, and 6. Yes, he still didn't shoot 3 from well, but he still played good. Jaylen Brown dropped 40 in game 2. And, man, in game 4, he he hit some really big shots. He had a block and close to the end of the game against Andrew Nembhard, and then made the game-winning assist to Derek White for the three-pointer to obviously win the game. He played really good, and we can't forget about Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday, man, that was a great pickup by them during the offseason. Drew Holiday averaged 18, 7, and 5. He played terrific defense. He played good defense on basically anybody he was guarding. Obviously, Andrew Nembhard was still playing good offensive end, but man, without Drew Holiday, I don't know where they'd be at. And I'm also going to give credit to Al Horford. If Al Horford, honestly, if he doesn't like hit 7 3-pointers, that was a career high for him in the playoffs and the regular season. If he doesn't hit 7 3-pointers in that game 3, there's a chance that the Celtics probably lose that game, and it's a 2-1 series. So you got to give them credit. This was Jason Tatum's best series this playoffs. Obviously, he didn't play good against the Heat. Really didn't need him to play good. He played okay. He played decent against the Cavs. Didn't need him to play like overly good, but I think they did needed him against the Pacers because the Pacers fought. Like, you just gotta give them credit. They fought, man, and I think no one is shocked that the Celtics are back in the finals second time in 3 years. Like, this was the best, in my opinion. This was the best team in the East all year. Had them better than Philly, had them better than Milwaukee, had them better against the Knicks. And people are saying, yeah, this is the easiest cakewalk to the finals ever. It probably is the easiest cakewalk, but all you can do is face who's in front of you. It's not their fault that people are hurt. You can't just blame them, and that's what I kind of don't like about all these big media companies like ESPN, Fox, and all them. It's like they're saying you're not impressed, but it's like you can only play who's in front of you, because if they would have lost these games, y'all would have talked about them. But when you're winning, it's like you're still talking about them. In the regular season, it's different. Like, in the regular season, it's all, yeah, you want to dominate teams, blow them out, or beat them in clutch games. Man, I ain't gonna lie. In the playoffs, bro, you just need 16 wins. I don't care how I get these wins. If I beat a team by 1 point every game, hey, I don't care. A win is a win. All we need to do is win 16 games. I don't care if we don't blow them out. We blow them out, we blow them out. We don't. Who cares? So, like, y'all got to get off them. And then people are going in on, like, the Celtics about, like, who's the better player, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Honestly, they're both really good. They both need each other, because without each other, they probably don't even get this far anyway. So it really doesn't matter. I think Jason Tatum is the better player only because I think his shooting, scoring-wise, I think they're about the same. Shooting, probably about the same. But when it comes to rebounding, defense, and facilitating, Jason Tatum beats Jaylen Brown at that. He just doesn't do that stuff. And that's nothing against him. That's just not a part of his game. I don't think facilitating never been a part of his game. And that's okay. But they both need each other. They both need each other. So it doesn't really matter who's the best player. And I'm glad that Jaylen Brown got the Eastern Conference MVP, because I honestly think he deserved it, because yes, I think he was probably the most consistent player, and he was definitely the most efficient, and I think he made more plays than Jason Tatum in that series. Like, I think Jason Tatum played better? Yes, but I think Jaylen Brown, with him hitting the game-winning, game-winning, not the game-winning 3, but the game-tying 3 in game 1, you dropped 40 in game 2, and then you made clutch plays in game 4. Why not give him this? Why not give him the MVP for that series? I'm not really shocked at that. So I'm glad he got it. So I'm not upset that Jason Tatum didn't win it. Jason Tatum won one back in 2022. So it doesn't really matter. I think the Celtics, I've been, Jason Tatum's my guy. I've had the Celtics all year. I think whoever they do face, Dallas or Minnesota, probably most likely going to be Dallas, because obviously they have a 3-1 lead. But I'm going to pick the Celtics to win against whoever. They do need Porzingis. I'm sorry, they do need him. I think they can still beat them without Porzingis, but Porzingis just makes life for the Celtics so much easier. He makes life for them so much easier. So They need him with his rim protection, rebounding, and spreading the floor. They need him. And it makes life so much easier if they do gotta face Dallas or Minnesota. But Celtics, they taking care of business. Whoever's in front of them, they're beating 4-1, 4-1, 4-0. So it doesn't matter. And now they got basically 9 days off. They don't got to play till next Thursday. and that's what happens when you do. Hey, you take care of business, you get rest. I take rest over momentum. That's just me though. Cause any knick-knack and injuries, hey, I want us to be at close to 100% as close as possible. Because every time you keep delaying a series, somebody might get hurt. A twisted ankle, elbow, wrist, whatever. So I'd rather take that over extending a series that I have no business extending. But give credit to the Celtics, man. They're a good team. Had them all the way. I'm gonna pick them regardless. I just think the Celtics are just a better team. And they beat the Pacers, but give the Pacers credit. Pascal, Andrew Nembhard, all of them. Hey man, they gave the Celtics a fight. And Tyrese, I wish he could have played. You know, Tyrese is my guy too. I wish he could have played, but they did what they had to do. And the Celtics, they took care of business. It was a competitive sweep. I'll say that. It was a competitive sweep. Just give the Celtics credit, man. They're a really good team. And I think they will beat either the Mavericks, or the Timberwolves in the finals. I just think they are the most talented team, talented from 1 through 6, basically. So yeah, Celtics, they took care of business. They complete the sweep, and they're going back to the finals. So there's news about Paul George and the Clippers, how the Clippers don't want to give him like the full max extension. And I understand why, because obviously the Clippers haven't won anything since him and Kawhi have teamed up. The Clippers extended Kawhi. They extended Kawhi to 3 years for $152 million. So that's $50 a year. Does Kawhi Leonard deserve that? I mean, what he's done with the Clippers, I don't know. Because when he plays, when he's healthy, he's amazing. When he's healthy, he is amazing. And you can't take that away from him. But he hasn't been healthy. And that's the truth. Kawhi Leonard just hasn't been healthy, bro. What I always say, when Kawhi Leonard is healthy, he's a top 10 player in the NBA. And that's facts. Like that's facts. He's a top 10 player in the NBA when he's healthy. And he just hasn't been there. Paul George has actually played more games than him. But Paul George hasn't been healthy either. So the report saying that the Clippers could give him 4 years, $221. That's $53 a year. And he could get from, say, obviously you hear the rumors about Philadelphia, Orlando, etc. They can offer him 4 years, $212. Really not that big of a difference, but obviously they don't want to give him the full $221. And Paul George has to think about it. Does he want to stay in LA? Obviously, California, where he's from, obviously where his family's at, or do you want to uproot your family and go somewhere else? Like, he has the decision to make. Me personally, I think the Clippers are going to re-sign him. The only reason I say that is because you have this new arena. Like, they have this new arena coming out next year, and you want your star players, you want to attract fans to the game. Like, nothing against role players, but I don't want to go into an arena where I see, like, Brandon Boston, Zubas on the big screen when you walk up. I don't want to see that. I want to see the guys like Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Maybe if they do resign Russell Westbrook, or if they resign James Harden. That's who I want to see when I walk up to the door. Like, oh my God, these are the star players? Yeah, okay, let's go. I want to see that. So I think that they will resign. I think they might give him a little bit more than Kawhi. Do I think they give him the full 221? Probably not, but I think they do go over that because like he is their second best player on the team. And that's just facts. If you want to say James Harden, that's fine. But he is their second best player. Now, should the Clippers do you I saw people saying they probably regret giving him that contract extension early. Look, Kawhi Leonard's the best player. And you're gonna give your best player, your face of the franchise, this type of money. Now it probably was lower, obviously, but Kawhi Leonard, he took what he got. He was healthy this season. He played the most games with the Clippers in a minute, and he got his money. So, I mean, I'm not upset that they gave him the money. Now, would they have gave him the same amount if they would have known that he was basically gonna miss majority of the series against the Mavericks? There's a chance they probably don't. There is a chance. There is a world where they probably say, "Hey, Kawhi, you always get hurt around this time, or you miss the season. Like, we need you in the playoffs, but you're not healthy, and we probably won't give you an extension." There is a world where that does happen, and they gave it to him, so you can't do nothing about that. I think they do resign Paul George, like I said, to somewhat maybe a little bit over that extension Kawhi got, maybe like 160, 170, something around there for 3 years. I think they do resign James Harden. I think they want to bring this same squad back, man. You got no choice. And plus, you got no draft picks. So you can't even go out in the first round and get even an okay decent player rookie. So the Clippers, they got decision to make. Paul George, he got decision to make. I already said, like, if Paul George does say if he goes to Philly teams up with Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, I'm not upset. I don't think the Sixers should prioritize getting another star and just prioritize getting role players. But I wouldn't be upset at it. I truly wouldn't be upset. They would be formidable in the East. I'll say that. They'll be top 3 as usual, but they'll be formidable. But overall, I think Paul George stays with the Clippers because he's from California, and I think he just doesn't want to leave there. And the Clippers, they want to re-sign him because you get it. You got a new arena. You got to attract the fans, man. You got to. So that's it for that. And another thing for Jimmy Butler, I don't like. There are reports. They're saying that the Sixers, if they do trade for Jimmy Butler, they're ready to give him a max contract extension. And they say that they regret trading him. And I think they do regret trading him. He did help them get to the second round. And if it wasn't for a Kawhi Leonard triple bounce, there's a chance they probably go to the conference finals, beat Milwaukee, and maybe win the finals. There's a chance. Because they did sign Tobias Harris over him. Like, that's just facts. They signed Tobias Harris over him. And Jimmy Butler, even though he doesn't, to his standards, play like he does in the playoffs in the regular season, you still want Jimmy Butler. He's like that leader that you want in the locker room. And I think he will have Joel Embiid in check, make sure he's good, and have him ready close to like the playoffs. And then you have Tyrese Maxey. Like, Jimmy Butler would really be the third option because Tyrese Maxey, I think, is the second option automatically. So he's not gonna be able to guide. And to his credit, we have seen Jimmy Butler take teams with way less talent to a finals. We've seen it. Like, we have seen it. And just now think of it, if he does have talent, how far he would go. He will probably be able to but he will probably able to help them get far in the playoffs. Obviously, Sixers haven't made the conference finals in years. So he will help them. Do I think that he will trade him to the Sixers, though? I don't think so. I don't think, like, the Heat, to their credit, they're still a threat to all these other teams in the East. And if you're trading him to the Sixers, that makes you guys weaker, if we're being honest. The extent, like, Jimmy Butler said he wants 2 years, 113. That's $56 million a year. And Jimmy Butler, I think Jimmy Butler is 35. I have to check. Jimmy Butler is 34. Jimmy Butler is 34 years old, and you're basically gonna give a 34-year-old $50 million. And especially when y'all don't really win a championship. Pat Riley in his head probably thinking like, I don't know if I want to give a 34-year-old 50 million. He's going to be 35 in September. And what Jimmy Butler has done for the Heat, he probably does deserve it, but they haven't won anything. Yeah, you guys have been very competitive. Don't get me wrong. You guys have been competitive in the East, been beating up good teams. Obviously, they beat the Celtics, they beat the Bucks. So you got to give them credit for that. But I don't think Jimmy Butler's really worth $50 million. And I don't think they trade him. Now, if they do trade him, hey, that's gonna be a nice big three in Philly though. I would probably put them as like if they do trade for him, and depending on what else they surround him with, they could probably be second best team in the East. I would probably put them over. I would definitely put them over Milwaukee. Probably put them over the Knicks. And I wouldn't say they're better than Boston still, but that would be a formidable big three. But the Sixers say they're ready, man. They're trying to win while Joel Embiid is in his prime. Yes, Joel Embiid gets hurt every year. Like, knock on wood, hope he stays healthy. But sometimes it's like, bro, you just know somebody's gonna get hurt. You just know. So I mean, I hope he stays healthy. But if they get Jimmy Butler, man, that helps them a lot. But I don't think Pat Riley's gonna trade that man unless Jimmy Butler literally asks for a trade. If he goes to Pat Riley and say, "Hey, look, man, I want this 2-year 113, and if y'all don't do it, just trade me." That's the only way. I don't think they're just gonna trade him just to trade him. So, like, I think Jimmy Butler obviously stays with the Heat for at least one more year. Has a player option for $50 million. So he most likely, if he has another good year, obviously he declines that, then signs another big deal, probably with the Heat or somewhere else. But I think he does stay this year. I don't think they trade him. And plus, the Heat are trying to get other players. They're trying to trade for other players to come to Miami because they know they need one more piece. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell, Zach LaVine, DeJounte Murray, etc. Like those type of players. So I think they keep Jimmy, and he just stays with the Heat for at least this year. So that is it for the Full Court Entertainment Podcast. Hope we get another good game tonight from the Timberwolves and the Mavericks. Hope it's a good game. Hope the Timberwolves fight it out. I have them winning game 6, obviously. So, game 5, my bad. I have them winning game 5. I hope they win and we get another game of basketball. And I'm your host, Sheldon Moore, and I will see you guys next time.